This keyboard is straight up bonkers. Meet the Aaru65 from Helix Lab, the mad lads who CNC hieroglyphics into their keyboards themselves. This is not a paint or finish, this is the actual case. This video is sponsored by ClickClack, but my opinion is always my own. I reviewed the Aaru TKL before and I think it was pretty good, but the 65 took an interesting bit of a turn. Let's get into it. The Aaru65 is a 65% keyboard that gives up its navigation keys on the right for a volume slider with a scarab. The entire design of this keyboard is straight up bonkers. So the slider itself is typically in more budget keyboards, like you think an Equinix or a Keychron. It's a little novelty like volume rockers, screens, sliders, you name it. But it's very rare to see it end up in a more expensive CNC custom keyboard such as this. We'll discuss how that kind of jives with the rest of the package in a bit. Other than that volume slider, the keyboard is a statement and a half. It's a showpiece worthy of showing off. Crazy. This here is the Divine Black unit, is the most primo option. All black and gold, baby. We're talking different finishes at every point. I've been touching this keyboard a lot, so there's fingerprints on the back, but that's PVD, that's ano, and there's another ano. And on the back itself, the weight is silver and gold. So we got plenty of bling all around. Heavy, chunky, thick, quality. If you go with the standard finishes, you save a little bit of money, but you don't have the contrasting colors for the top case. The weight itself is very intricate and I really enjoy it. I haven't seen a lot of weights with texture and detail such as this. I personally don't like the Safari colorway. It doesn't really jive with the theme for me. Standard ivory would be my picks. Throw that all in, you also have RGB. There's a lot going on for the eyes. So I've described a barrage of design elements. There's a lot going on and I don't think this keyboard is for everyone. I think honestly, it's very specific. I don't even know if it's for a lot of people either. It's Egyptian hieroglyphics. You really got to be into that. Like I studied it in school. I watched The Mummy, but these days I don't think about that movie that much. In terms of keyboard design, a more low-hanging fruit would be something like K-pop or anime, you know? And the build process of this keyboard was a little difficult. Ribbon cables are used here and they're always a pain to install. I spent 15 minutes putting in the wrong hole and everyone watched. So if you want to see some stuff like that, make sure you check out my stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:30 p.m. Link in the description below. There were directions for sure, but it was all pictures and I couldn't tell what the pictures were showing. It could have at least had titles or something, but yeah, the artwork and the directions were great. It's cute. As for the mounting itself, it is a gasket mount keyboard, but we're not using any pour-on gaskets, so you don't have to worry about adhesive or anything. So that saves some stress, but the little rubber beans that get sandwiched in, they're very slippery and they keep falling out of the plates. That sucks because then you got to fish it out of the plate in PCB and it's annoying. And because they're not adhered to the plate or the case itself, you have to use this other additional CNC piece of aluminum, screw it in to hold the plate in place up against the top case so that the beans don't fall out. That's really complicated. That's a lot more extra steps. I almost miss just having adhesive. There's just a lot of components here that make the build just not very intuitive or user friendly. And the sound in the end was passable. It's definitely weak around the volume slider, like right here. But the rest of the alpha sound pretty good. So the plate has flex cuts, the PCB has flex cuts, so it's going to be a little bit quieter. So I would definitely use a louder switch. So with the fact that the volume slider keys like on the right mods don't sound great, I don't know about giving up some of the right mod sound just for a volume slider. For me, I skipped the rubber dampener in the phones because I wanted to see how it sounded just on its own. And it's like a 6.5 out of 10 for me. I kind of expect that sound out of a $200-ish keyboard for 2022, but in 2023, it's kind of hard to sell. It's because all the cost is not actually just out of the quality of the keyboard itself, like the sound and feel, but rather the machining and all the parts. This is really delving into art territory rather than an input device that looks decent or clean. I know that the foams are provided, but it's not great when you have to use it. Especially here, you kind of have to use at least the rubber dampener to kind of stabilize the right side and the right mods. But the price is $430. And honestly, $430 for this is fair. Like I mentioned, it's all the CNC, it's all the different finishes, it's the weight. the mounting style and the extra aluminum piece to hold the plate in PCB, yeah, those things don't come cheap. And you don't have to agree with their design choices, but it's definitely different and a departure from what you see on the regular. And the PCB itself is proprietary. It has a volume slider. There's so many different things in here, and that just, it's gonna add to the cost. So when you look at keyboards and you look at group buys, kind of see like, okay, what's the mountings? How many components are there? How many pieces are there? Are they including this? Are they including that? Is a PCB proprietary, or is it using a standard PCB? Because all that comes into cost. And this, especially the Divine Black unit, with all this aesthetic, this is $580. $580, and that's before you get any add-ons. So this keyboard, definitely an art piece, a collector piece. It would look great on a shelf because with the volume slider, you can actually see it without it being plugged in. If you have a display keyboard that has a screen or something, it's just going to show black and it's going to look dumb. So yeah, it's a very niche customer base and a niche product, but I'm glad it exists because it showcases what's possible with custom mechanical keyboards. I personally would not buy a keyboard just to put on a shelf, but this is a really cool piece to show off to someone and tell them like, hey, this is custom mechanical keyboards. This is what you can get instead of just a regular grungy Dell keyboard or some basic gamer keyboard from Amazon. So what do you think of this keyboard? I know it's wild, it's crazy, it stands out, it's bonkers. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.